Hello. Welcome to our Wednesday weekly workshop where we focus on mental health and trauma recovery through yoga and expressive arts. For the next several weeks, we'll be following our way through yoga for the creative soul, as we have been in previous videos that you can find online. We're on our way through part 2 of yoga for the creative soul. And today we are starting fresh at chapter 8. Chapter 8's topic is the path to enlightenment that involves devotion and emotion. The heart-centered path of bhakti yoga. So this chapter 8 called From the Heart. And we'll start right there, from the heart, in practice. Every week, off video, the group does a check-in together, not mandatory, you can always pass. And then we record this middle part, the instruction, the yoga practices, the expressive arts every week. So as we move into practice right now, practice from the heart, practice of this bhakti limb of yoga, emotion, devotion, let's simply close our eyes down. And from a comfortable and upright position, focus on the center of the chest. And as we bring awareness to the chest, very naturally, we become aware of the breath also. And when we become aware of the breath, by nature of awareness, the thing that is observed begins to change. With very little effort, encourage that breath to change in the direction of openness and ease. If we are focusing on the energetic heart, the heart chakra, then we know its presence is filling through the area of the upper torso, front, sides, and back. And you may even imagine a blowhole, the way a dolphin or a whale breathes, breathing through the center of your chest, energy, peace, or through the center of your back, as if you could breathe directly into and out of this heart center. Noticing what is, not attempting to change anything. Breathing into and out of the heart center. And as you continue this breath, I will simply name associations with this part of the body, with this part of the energy anatomy. associated with the circulatory system, that muscle, the heart, the lungs, tiny structures of the lungs. The upper thoracic spine. Arms and hands. The heart associated with love, spiritual, abiding love. Love unexpressed, which is grief. And also joy here at the heart. The lightness, the element of air. Lush, lively green. And you may feel connected to or distant from those heart associations. All you have to do is focus the breath in that area. Expressive arts give us the opportunity to convey those aspects of ourselves and our journeys which are beyond words. And in fact, through the creative process, through witnessing what we have expressed, through sharing and seeing others' expressions, we learn more about ourselves, more about the journey. There are clues. Often in this group, we will express visually, people drawing, cutting, pasting, shaping with tissue or scraps of construction paper, but you can also express musically through dance, through movement, or in whatever way fits best for you. But as you follow the breath from that heart center, front, sides, and or back, let your natural expression begin to come through. In some way, convey what has been there for you with the breath. You might draw the breath, draw what came to mind with associations of the heart chakra, or simply begin to make marks or begin to make movements and trust what comes out of you. So we're just giving that breathing exercise a bit more life through self-expression. And while you are singing or dancing or writing, sketching, painting, while you are expressing, do your best to stay connected with that chest and back area, with that heart center. Notice changes in your breath, staying present with your body as you express. And expressive arts are not about making art per se. There isn't an end goal in mind. We're not trying to be proficient with our expression. Just as you are right now, let yourself express. Drawing, scribbling, moving, any way that you want, any way that feels right and on point for what is with you in the moment. And with practice in this way, our expressive arts also become a form of meditation, a place where we can reliably center, feel safe, practice. Appreciating ourselves, appreciating what comes through us, what wants out. What do we have to express? Returning to your breath every so often, checking in with your body, your state of mind. And just letting yourself put the finishing touches on this expression as it is here and now. If there's anything else you want to add to this or that would benefit you to come back to, just make note of that so that you can return. We'll be doing a bit more expressive arts today. But first, we're going to do some movement in connection with this heart center. So people who tend to be more of this bhakti yoga path, this path of emotion, of devotion, will sometimes it's the double-edged sword, right? That it offers a path to enlightenment as we love our spiritual work, or as we love a divine presence and devote ourselves to that divine presence. We may also see service as our spiritual path, and serving those we love or causes that we love can help bring us more and more into our spiritual nature. However, a bhakta would tend also to be too much swayed by emotion, pulled off the path by emotion, become erratic or wounded through those intense feelings. And over the next few weeks, we will be offering strategies for harnessing the power of emotionality and not being so upset by it. But for now, we'll take ourselves back where we were moments ago to breathing. at that heart center. On the same day, it can be useful to follow the same kind of practice, and on a different day, experiment in a different way. So if you were using imagery or associations with this heart breath, you can go back to that image or that association. If you were imagining the blowhole, then go back to that chakra breath, that energy breath through the blowhole. However serves you, you're settling into the heart breath. And as we go through this movement sequence, we'll imagine in some way initiating movement from the heart. So you can take this next sequence right where you are in your seat. If you wish, you can stand up, or you can head over to a practice space and do these movements reclined, if that's your preference. Any orientation will work here. So we're breathing from the heart. And what we know is we're going to stretch the body long. So imagining that the center of the chest is starting the movement. Just begin to raise those arms high. Feel that connection, the hands, the arms associated with that heart center growing from the chest. And continuing to reach the body long, breath by breath, feeling the heart connecting to the abdomen, the pelvis, the legs, the feet. Yes. Centering awareness at the heart. Maybe your palms come together, lowering the hands down to the heart center, pressing the thumbs into the center of the chest and letting the fingers blossom open. Looking into those palms and placing a wish or an intention in the heart of that lotus mudra. Perhaps for love, unconditional love for all. Perhaps for joy. Perhaps for resolution to grief. Intention in the heart of the lotus mudra. And then bringing the palms together, sealing that intention in. And from there, the arms come wide out to the sides, long arms sideward. Yes, imagining as if you could reach your ribs out to the sides as well. Inhale by inhale, broadening at the torso and feeling the heart's presence here as we begin to side bend, arms out to the sides like airplane arms, and you can hold the bend each side and take a few breaths there, or you can make it dynamic, inhaling to one side and exhaling through to the other side. So it is your choice how you interface today, but the real focus is the way your entire body is moving from the heart. That heart center deciding when to bend, how far to bend, how long to stay in the bend. Initiating movement from the heart. And when you have balanced those bends, right side and left side, bring the hands back to center. This time the palms are down and the fingertips just hover at that heart chakra place. Palms hovering right there as if the heart chakra were coming out of you like a trumpet, like a bell, then the fingers are in the middle of that bell energy, just absorbing the potential for joy, absorbing the benefits of divine unconditional love. Breathing from that heart, yes. And whether you're standing, sitting, or reclined, bring the legs out a little wider, coming into a V or double shoulder width apart. Just a little more stretch, a little more opening through the legs, and feeling how that opening near the root supports also opening in the heart and probably the other chakras as well. Now with those hands staying parallel at the heart center, and you can rest your arms whenever they need a rest, but the hands staying parallel there is possible. Just begin to rotate from side to side. Again, heart leads the rotation. Heart initiates the movement. Heart guides the movement, spiraling from side to side. Just as you did on the first side, you can remain in the twist for a few breaths, feeling the heart settle, feeling the body stretch in alignment with that heart. Or you can keep it dynamic, moving inhale through to one side and exhale, revolve to the other. This is your choice. All thoughts flowing into the energy of that heart, dissolving in that unconditional love. If you are seated, place your hands in front of you and begin to walk them forward and back, initiating with the breath. If you're standing, give yourself a tall upward reach and a long flow forward, forward bending. And if you're reclined, and if you're reclined, you can roll into and out of little bridge poses. But we're somehow coming through forward and backward bends. Walking the hands forward and then walking them back up, exaggerating the arch. Heart leading the way the whole time. Heart leading the way forward so the head does not drop. Heart leading the way up so that there is a lift at the sternum and through the center of the chest. And as you have already done, you can pause in the movements for a few breaths, or you can keep it dynamic. Half of the breath phase into the forward bend, the other half of the breath phase into the back bend. We often say, fold the body on an exhale and open the body on an inhale, but it's good for the brain to change it up sometimes. So if you're looking for support through a transition, you might reverse the breath. And after you've done some of these forward and backward bending actions, just return to some centered position, some comfortable, balanced posture. And return to the initial practice, breathing with an awareness at the heart. Noticing how this practice is similar to when we began and how it's different now that we've meditated, expressed, and moved. And let's take that back to expression, as you may choose to express an aspect of the movement practice that we did today. You may choose to express something else from the breathing practice, like the difference at the end from the beginning or the middle. You may return to the same media that you were using initially, or you can do something different. If you were doing markers first and you want to do pencil crayons now, or if you were playing your instrument and now you want to dance, this is your time for you, and you can do that expression in whatever way you feel inspired in this moment. The beauty of expressive arts is that we're not judging, we're not trying to make this into anything. It's very accepting, low pressure method of expression, and yet at times so much comes through us when our only intention is to in some way express and experience. So you can apply this, thinking perhaps of those emotional bhaktis where we may tend to feel overwhelmed more easily, isolated, disconnected, hurt, that we don't always have to process that with others. Now, granted, we do want to have a community of safe people, a place where we can go and express ourselves. But we also have the option to process on our own. We have a safe way of getting the hurt or the overwhelm or whatever other uncomfortable emotion may be with us. We have a way of getting that out simply by making marks on a page, simply by choosing more creative movements, making sounds with our voice or a musical instrument. What we know from the research is any act of expression, similar to how any form of breathing practice or any movement will typically support our release and move us in the direction of healing and well-being. And so we'll put the finishing touches on those expressive efforts. We always leave a little bit of room, a little bit of time for sharing. Sometimes I'll do the expressive work with you so that somebody shares. And my expressive work, one of my intentions is to offer you evidence that you don't have to be an artist to benefit from expressive arts. As I built my career on expressive arts, I studied this in grad school a long time ago. and wrote a book on creativity, right? It's what we're studying today. This is my heart breath. And so for me, it's expressing how there's radiance coming out of the heart and just going, it's meant to indicate like there's this divine center, and then it's going out and out and out into the world, into the room, and then beyond into different realms of reality. And then after the movement felt a little more vibrant. I started with red that time, and seems a little like more focused. And then this represents the hands when we were doing the twist with the fingertips right at the heart. That's what that blue is, my hands. So that's mine. No obligation to share on camera. There is enough time for us to share off video as well. But before we stop the recording, I invite anyone to share. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Kate.
Hi, I'm having a lot of trouble because I'm on my phone. I'm not used to doing this on my phone. So I did get home a while ago, so thank you so much for your flexibility. So this was what I came up with, just my heart and some flowers. I was really sad when I was doing the movement, and then when you started talking about the Bhakti yoga, I just felt like I felt so drawn to Bhakti yoga. I'm always in a tizzy about what exactly I am, and that just so resonates with me all the time. I'm so emotional, and it just felt like a celebration of just being able to just, that's who I am, and that's okay. There's tools and things I can use to help me with that path, and that felt celebratory. So I kind of started drawing like expansion. So thank you.
Thanks for sharing, Kate. Dean, are you? Yeah, hi.
Sure. I always find myself, I feel like I'm kind of forcing things, but the one thing that I didn't force was the color of my shirt. Like it's the brightest, reddest, heart-colored shirt that I've got. But for as far as my artwork, I'm breathing in, and it kind of touches on a meditation I kind of do. I'm breathing in love, and I'm breathing, and the love's coming from all the world around me. And then I'm breathing out compassion. And then I have I said, I get the real sense of calm just from the meditation that the forum or the medium. But then I said, to the heart, from the heart out, in and out is what it's all about. And that's it.
Visual and written expression with some poetry. Thanks, Dean. So thank you, everyone who has joined us live or in the recording. The link to the weekly meetings is below in the comments. You're welcome to join at any time. If you know someone who might benefit from these kinds of practices, please also send the link to the video their way. And we're back next week playing a little bit more with the Bhakti yoga.